The Rollright Stones are an ancient sacred site located in Oxfordshire, England. There are three main groups of stones: the King's Men, the Whispering Knights, and the King's Stone. Believed to date back to the Neolithic and Bronze Ages, the stones have been the subject of folklore, myth, and in more recent times, scientific enquiry.
Here we are in the enigmatic Rollright Stones on a windy, rainy Sunday afternoon. Absolutely buzzing, well, certainly buzzing with wind. Just done an EFMF reading, and absolutely zilch, nothing zero, but hey ho, still feels good, as it were. We could count these stones, we could maybe mark them out, and of course the big myth about the Rollright Stones is they are indeed countable, which messes that idea up. Nevertheless, even looking around from the centre of the circle, you can see certain prominent stones. You can see what look like male and female stones, count stones if you like, gateway stones, marker stones out to different parts of the landscape around.
Three key ley line alignments have been associated with the Rollrights. The first was discovered by Alfred Watkins and runs through Long Compton Church, the Rollright Stones, Chipping Norton Church, and a tumulus near Charlbury. The second was suggested by Dever and Thompson in 1979 and follows a route from Marbury Banks in Northamptonshire all the way to the Rollrights. And the third runs from the Rollrights to the Uffington White Horse in a perfect north-south orientation.
Of course, the myth is that these are the King's Men, if you like, gathered here, waiting for the King to march off and claim his land. And of course, the King didn't march off because he got 7 strides, and the local witch turned him into a stone, and his men into stones, and his knights into stones, and turned herself into a hawthorn tree.
According to myth, a conquering king was confronted by a witch who told him, 7 long strides shalt thou take, and if Long Compton thou canst see, King of England thou shalt be. The king strode forward confidently, shouting, Stick, stock, stone, as King of England I shall be known. However, after 7 strides he was suddenly confronted by a mound of earth rising up magically before him and blocking his view. The witch then said, As Long Compton thou canst not see, King of England thou shalt not be. Rise up, stick, and stand still, stone, for King of England thou shalt be none. Thou and thy men horse stones shall be, and I myself an elden tree. And so the king and his army became the King's Stone, and the King's Men Stone Circle, and the witch became an elder tree. The Whispering Knights were said to be a group of soldiers huddled together, plotting treachery against the king, when they were also turned to stone by the witch.
Well, we all know the magic of hawthorn tree, of course. 7 strides is quite important. Number 7 is a kind of mystical count, if you like. It's a count of time, count of days, and strides are 2 or 3 feet long, so we've got kind of 21s going in there, which is all exciting stuff. I'm going to do a little bit more measuring. My machine hasn't gone beep, so that means nothing's happening on the old EMF scale. It's just merely happening on the wind and the rain scale. But you can see why, well, certainly in this area it's such an enigmatic place.
According to myth, it is impossible to count the stones. According to archaeologists, there are 77 stones in the King's Men's Circle. So we find the number 7 becoming a recurring theme. 7 days in a week, which is of course a quarter of a lunar cycle, 7 days of creation, and the 7 strides. And of course 77 is 7 times 11. And 11 itself is a master number in numerology, and it is a prime number. Between 1978 and 1982, under the banner of the Dragon Project, a number of archaeologists, scientists and dowsers measured anomalously high and low levels of several forms of energy emission, including electromagnetic, sound and radiation. They found the activity seemed to be greatest at dawn and at the equinoxes.
You can see the views, you can see the connections. If it wasn't so misty, we'd be able to see exactly what's happening over there on the old horizon and see the nearest points. And of course over here you can't see because it's misty. The Whispering Knights just there in the distance, I'm pointing at them, and across the road, masked by both the road and of course the woods, is that enigmatic King's Man. Here he is. We assume it's a he. Quite tall, bulbous, leaning over. Beautiful shape. So here's the thing. First of all, 7 strides, and he gets here and gets turned into stone. Can we spot a hawthorn tree? No. There's probably some hawthorn around. I'm not going to go into the bushes yet, as it were. And yet, it's taken me several more strides, in Stevie strides, to be able to see just over the brow of the hill, which you probably can't see, Long Compton. That's what he was aiming for. Take over the world, take over Long Compton. So what's a stride? I'm going to do some striding. Here we go then. Here's the stone. See how far I get on 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not very far. Doesn't feel like 7 strides to me. Maybe he was a giant. Maybe he had very long legs. Maybe his legs weren't long enough, because had he had longer legs, of course, he'd have been able to get to the top of this hill here, which isn't that far. And then he'd have been able to see Long Compton and take over the world. But of course he didn't. Just got stuck here forever.
A week later, I went back to the stones and I found evidence of people working them magically. There were offerings and a spray of roses in the centre, just as we approach the sacred festival of Samhain and the beginning of winter. Again, no readings on the EMF meter, but when I dowsed, the rods went crazy, tracing out coils of Medusa-like energy swirls and spinning like helicopters at various node points. A number of us were able to repeat these results independently without consultation, showing that the stone circle was energetically charged.